Now we'll discuss together the history of feminism. Simone de Beauvoir wrote that the first time we see a woman take up her pen in defense of her sex was Christine de Pizarro wrote concerning feminism in the 15th century, and at the same time we have Bourgeois in 16th century, and we have different feminists as Lapar in 17th century. So concerning this part, we like to say that feminism actually started from a very long time, 15th century, 16th century, 17th century, and then we have it till now. Feminists and scholars have divided the movement's history into three waves. We have three waves, the first wave, the second wave, and the third wave. The first wave refers mainly to women's suffrage movements of the 19th and early 20th century. And this is suffrage means the right of women to vote. So in the first wave, we have it in 19th century, the end of 19th century, and beginning of 20th century, and it concentrated on the idea of giving the woman the right to vote, and this means suffrage. So the second wave refers to ideas and actions associated with the women's liberation movement beginning in 1960s, and the second wave start to be giving the woman more and more options, more and more rights, and it started to be associated with the women's liberation movement that begins in 1960s, which campaigned for legal and social rights for women. The first one associated with politics, the ability giving the woman the right to vote. The second wave started to deal with the social and legal rights of women. The third wave refers to a continuation of a reaction to the perceived failures of people. They attack the first wave and the second wave. So then the third wave, we have to defend what we search for in the first and the second wave, and at the same time start to increase the opportunities of giving the woman all her rights, and this was in 1990s, and this start to we have such wave till now. Actually, we will deal with everyone in details. The first wave, feminism, refers to an extended period of feminist activity during the 19th century and early 20th century in the United Kingdom and the United States. So we have feminism. We search for women's rights for a very long time, but in the first wave we have a very strong movement and extended period of feminist activity, and this was in 19th century and early 20th century, and in two important countries, United States and United Kingdom. Originally it focused, and the main aim behind the first wave of feminism, that they focus on promotion of equal contract. Actually, they concentrate on some rights of women, like rights concerning marriage, concerning children, concerning property rights. So they search in this wave actually for equal contract and property rights for women, and opposition to chattel marriage and ownership of married women by their husbands. So we try to save, to make women secured in the field of in society with her husband, when she has children, when she has a place to live in. This is the first wave. However, by the end of 19th century, activism focused primarily on gaining political power. And then afterwards, at the end of 19th century, they start to extend their needs concerning the rights of women, and they concentrate on the political power to gain complete human being, and she has a voice, she has to vote, she has to play a role in politics. So this was in the end the second part of the first wave of feminism. Yet feminists such as Voltaire de Cleyre and Marguerite Sanger were still active in campaigning for women's sexual, reproductive, and economic rights at this time. So we have some feminists actually at the end of this wave searching at the same time for economic and sexual rights. In 1854, Florence Nightingale established female nurses, and we have actually an evidence that they could gain some political power when in 1854 we found Florence Nightingale established female nurses as adjuncts to the military. Adjuncts to the military, they assist the military. They work in a field of military. So I think this was a kind of success in the first wave to have all such rights for women. In Britain, and suffragettes, and possibly more effectively, the suffragists campaigned for the women's vote. So we have such searching for these rights in the United States and Britain, and we have such suffragettes in Britain when different campaigns concerning suffrage. The ability of women, or the right of women to vote. In 1918, the Representation of People Act 1918 was passed, granting the vote, and then at the end, they have the right to vote through the Act 1918, when the woman had the right to vote over age of 30, and then in 1928, this was extended to all women over 21. So. The first wave was very successful and ends with the right of women to vote, the right of women to have some legal rights with her existence with the male. In the United States, leaders of this movement included Lucarte Mott, Lucy Stone, Stanton, Susan B. Anthony, who each campaigned for the abolition of slavery. So in the United States, they try to finish the slavery, and then they have different campaigns searching for women's rights to vote. But they will not have such right to vote before ending slavery. So they start with ending slavery and then searching for the ability of women or the right of women to vote. All were strongly influenced by Quaker thought. American first wave feminism involved a wide range of women, and some, such as Florence Willard, belonged to conservative Christian groups such as Women's Christian Temperance Union. Others, such as Jocelyn Gage, were more radical and expressed themselves within the National Women's Suffrage Association or individuality. So in Britain, we have those ideas very clear, that searching for women's rights, some legal rights, and then the ability to vote, and then through Act 1918 we have the woman over 30 to vote, and then 1928 they vote over 21. And then in the United States we have different strong females, Christian ones, radical feminists. They try to search for finishing the slavery and then giving the woman the right to vote. American first wave feminism is considered to have ended with the passage of the 19th Amendment to the United States Constitution, granting women 1919. So in Britain 1918, and then 1928, and in United States we have 1919. They gave all women in all states the right to vote, and this was a kind of success, a great success actually at that time. The term first wave was coined retrospectively after the term second wave feminism began to be used to describe a newer feminist movement that focused much on fighting social and cultural inequalities as political inequalities. So we have first wave feminism, and then when we have other needs to make women feel safe and secure and equal to male, we start the second wave, and this will start to deal around society, social and cultural inequalities as political inequalities. So we'll start to concentrate on social and cultural inequalities at that time concerning the second wave. So second wave feminism refers to the period of activity in the early 1960s. And lasting through late 1980s, 20 years actually. The scholar Imelda Wellinen Wellington suggests that second wave was a continuation of the earlier phase of feminism. So it's just a kind of continuation of the first wave of feminism involving the suffragettes in the UK and USA. Second wave feminism has continued to exist since that time and coexist with what is termed third wave feminism. So second feminism start to continue what we have in the first wave, and at the same time will start to give the ability to increase our rights, the female rights, in the third wave of feminism. The scholar Estelle Friedman compares first and the second wave feminism, saying that the first wave focused on rights such as suffrage, whereas the first wave, according to this scholar, start to concentrate. The first wave feminism concentrate on suffrage, on politics, on the idea, giving the idea of the right to vote, and the second one was largely, whereas the second wave was largely concerned with other issues of equality, such as ending discrimination, to end discrimination. So this is the more detailed, more focused on the second wave. The feminist activist and author Carol Hanash coined the slogan, "The personal is political." What I have in my personal life will be reflected in politics. It's a synonym of the second wave, to have the personal is political. This is our this is our slogan in life concerning the second wave. Second wave feminists saw women's, this is very important, they saw women's cultural and political inequalities as inextricably linked and encouraged. The society refused the women's culture and political equality. So in the second wave, they start to encourage women to understand their personal lives as part of politics, and at the same time they reflect their sexist power structures. Actually, second wave very detailed, very focused, try to be inside the female psychology to be able to understand their life as a female, their personal life as a female, to be reflected in interpreting politics, and at the same time to know reflect sexist power structures. Third wave feminism began in the early 1990s, arising as a response to perceived failures of the second wave. We have different kinds of failures concerning the first and the second one, especially the second one. So third wave start to defend, to support the ideas in the second wave, and also a response to the backlash against initiatives and movement created by the second wave. So we have in every theory or in every idea, we have supporters, we have some people support this idea and some people are against. So in the third wave, they start to defend themselves against what we call backlash, or people who are attacking feminism, attacking the rights of female, against initiatives and movements created by the second wave. Third wave feminism seeks to challenge or avoid what it deems the second wave's essentialist definition of femininity, which according to them overemphasized the experience of upper middle class white women. In the third wave, they try to prove what they call for in the first and the second wave against what they call backlash, or enemies of women, or people they are anti-feminism. A post-structuralist interpretation of gender and sexuality is central to much of the third wave ideology. We increase the ideas of feminism, and we try to interpret their gender to change the ideology of the feminism, actually of the female, inside the minds of people. Third wave feminists often focus on something called micropolitics and challenge the second wave's paradigm as to what is or is not good for females. They concentrate scholars and feminists in this third wave in giving the ideology of this is normal. It's normal to search for female rights. She is a human being. What she calls for is something normal, something ordinary. They like to change the ideologies, the minds, the environment of people who attack the female. The third wave had its origin in the mid-1980s. Feminist leaders rooted in the second wave like Gloria and Muraga, and at the same time different ones actually, they start, and many other black feminists sought to negotiate a space with feminist thought for consideration of race-related subjectivities. So we have the beginning of in the third wave, the beginning of giving a black female a chance to gain her rights as a female, not as a black woman. A post-structuralist interpretation of gender and sexuality is central to much of the third wave ideology. So this is actually what we have mentioned concerning the ideologies of the female in the society. Third wave feminism also contains internal debates between different feminists, such as psychologist Carol Gilligan. Differences between the inherent differences between the sexes and contend that gender rules are due to social conditioning. So we have different debates in the third wave to prove that the woman is not a result of her being as a woman because of her body or her existence as a woman, because she should be humiliated, but according to society we create a strong woman or a weak woman. So the woman is a result as a man, she is a result of her society, result of some social conditioning. So those actually debates comes, the female is a human being and she is a result of her society, of her environment. If we start to bring up the female to be strong and to be independent, we will find her independent. If we start to humiliate her, slave her, giving her all of the secondary duties, so we'll find the female she will be a mirror of her society. So the third wave feminism, we have three waves: the first wave, the second wave, the third wave, and in each wave we start to concentrate on some rights, some needs of female. We have some people support the ideas and the other attacking they attack the idea. So in every wave we are increasing or extending the needs and the rights of the female. This is the historical background, the history of feminism, and I wish I could do something important and useful at the same time. See you next video.